All right, happy Saturday, everybody. Welcome. I'm on the porch, and you're with me. For the people who are viewing right now, welcome. And for the people who will see this in recording mode, thanks for recording. Do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're watching on the X platform, appreciate it. Hit the retweet button. If you're watching on the X platform, also, if you can share it, hit the like button, all that stuff. If you're on YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's a little windy out here today. I'm on the back porch, as we will do on the weekends on the porch here. We're going to be doing a lot more stuff right here on YouTube. I want to get into some Phillies thoughts. The lineup just dropped moments ago. It's the same lineup we've been seeing. Stott, Turner, Harper, Schwarber, Castellanos, Kepler, Realmuto, Bohm, Rojas. Walker's pitching today. The one interesting tweak to this is Schwarber's playing left field, Kepler's playing right field, and Castellanos is out of the field today. He's the DH in the lineup. So we're going to get into some lineup stuff because I want to know from you guys, if you're watching out there, let me know in the comments section if you're watching on YouTube. Are you guys cool with Stott being the leadoff guy? Are we at the point that this is the lineup and they should roll with it for a little while? What happens when there's a left-handed pitcher pitching? Is Stott still the leadoff guy? Is he out of the lineup altogether? He's not fared well against lefties. So do they take Stott out of the lineup altogether and he just doesn't play against lefties, but he's the leadoff guy against righties? It's a bizarre situation, but definitely want to hear from you guys out there what you think about that. So if you're on the X platform or on YouTube, hit the comments there and let us know. Do you like Stott as the leadoff man for this team long term? It looks like they're going to go with this lineup. At least, they had talked about doing Turner and Schwarber in the leadoff spot based on a lefty or righty and then kind of flipping them. Well, with Schwarber hitting in the 4-hole now, it looks like Stott will be the left-handed leadoff man against right-handed pitching, at least for the foreseeable future. They obviously scored a bunch of runs last night. Sandy Alcantara just did not have it. He was all over the place, no command last night. And the Phillies got on him early. Good to see a Harper home run in that game last night, a Schwarber home run. And if you were listening on the radio on Friday, one of my predictions for the weekend was 3 home runs from Schwarber this weekend. Well, I got 1 last night. Can he get me 1 today? Maybe even 2 in the game for the Phillies. Andrew Painter is a guy I want to talk a little bit more about here because Painter pitched again last night. He was pretty impressive from what we understand. He didn't pitch in Clearwater. He pitched for Clearwater. But, man, you got to be excited about the prospects of what Andrew Painter could bring to this team. Just think about this. The impact that Paul Skeens had, and is Painter better than Skeens? That I don't know. I'm not suggesting that. But if he's even on a similar plane as Paul Skeens, can you imagine adding a pitcher like Paul Skeens to the Phillies rotation for the back end of this season? What that would bring to this team? It would be astronomical to have another arm like that. The question is, like, this embarrassment of riches of arms, what does it mean for the Phillies to get more pitching? Wheeler, I thought, looked the best he has in a while. Now you're facing the Marlins. That team is embarrassing. Did you hear during the broadcast last night, the entire team, they have like 2 guys in the whole organization that were drafted, or the major league team that were drafted by the organization? I mean, this is a joke, this team. This team is an utter joke that this is the product they're putting out there. So the Wheeler 12 strikeouts, I take with a little bit of a grain of salt because it's the Marlins, but still. I thought he looked much better last night, sharper last night. I don't have a lot of worry about Wheeler. We talked about this on the radio. But if you had Wheeler, a pitcher of like Painter of like that level, I don't know that he's going to be a dominant ace in year 1 coming off Tommy John. You see what's going on with Alcantara, who missed all of last year. Just doesn't – a lot of times you have the velocity, but you don't have the command. So I'll see, as we watch Painter a little bit more, what kind of command he ends up having. But just think about what kind of decisions the Phillies are going to have to make. Wheeler, Luzardo, Sanchez. Is Nola your number 4? Is Painter your number 4? Is Suárez your number 4? Because now Suárez, he's going to pitch in, it looks like Lehigh Valley, his next start. And he's going to throw 70 to 75 pitches. And then he'll probably make one more start and try to get up to 90 pitches. And then I would imagine you have a decision to make. He's going to come up to the big league roster. You put him right in the rotation, I would imagine. What happens to Taijuan Walker? Not that I really care too much about what happens to Taijuan Walker, but, Walker's held it down a little bit for you. He's been okay. I'm not sitting here suggesting that Walker earned that spot, but what I would say is you're paying him $18 million. He's not going to get demoted in terms of released. So do you send Taijuan Walker to the bullpen? Is that really the best role for him? I don't think so, but I don't think they're going to go to a 6-man rotation this early in the season. When Painter's ready to go, then what happens? Do you have a 5-man rotation? Does somebody get demoted? Is it Suárez? I doubt Aaron Nola gets demoted no matter how poorly he's throwing. And right now he's 0-4 with an ERA in the mid-6. If Nola doesn't turn things around, does that change the dynamics for him? I think a lot of this is pretty interesting pitching-wise. But the impact that Andrew Painter will have on this season is going to be truly something to watch. That is, one of the big storylines here, because the Phillies are essentially, if you're Dave Dombrowski, you are saying that I have a top-of-the-rotation starter that I am adding to my team at the trade deadline. How many teams are going to be able to say that? Probably one other, the team that trades for Sandy Alcantara, right? Which team is going to make the trade for Sandy? They will say, okay, we've added probably, and I would, Sandy's a former Cy Young Award winner, so not call him an ace might not be fair, but he's not the same pitcher that he was when he won that Cy Young. So, one other team is going to say, we've added a top end of the rotation arm to our roster. The Phillies are going to also say that without giving anything up. Huge chip for them. Now, most of you watching right now are probably saying, Phillies don't need pitching, right? You would be right about that. They're not devoid of pitching. But a Wheeler, Luzardo, Sanchez, and another top-of-the-rotation pitcher, man, that would be a very formidable rotation in a 5-game series if you're the wild card. Only 3 of those guys would pitch. So what do you do with the other 2? Do they pitch in the bullpen? Are you going to throw one of these guys? Suárez has pitched in the bullpen before, so that's not crazy. Do you want to pitch Andrew Painter out of the bullpen? A guy who's never really pitched out of the bullpen and is coming back from Tommy John surgery, to pitch him as frequently as, every other day, an inning here, an inning there, that might not be something they're all that interested in doing. So that story is big. So Andrew Painter's progress, coupled with Ranger Suárez's return, which could be early May. It looks like he's going to start at least 1, maybe 2 more times at the Lehigh Valley. I would imagine whoever's closest, so they don't have to have him travel all that much. It's not really about level of competition. It's more convenience for him, where he can go to get the start in and not have to travel on the road or go someplace. So I think Lehigh Valley he'll be at on Thursday for anybody in the Lehigh area that wants to go see Ranger pitch. I think he's going to pitch on Thursday at Coca-Cola Park. And possibly one more time, either at Lehigh or Reading, whoever's closer, I would imagine. And then he will probably be in Philadelphia to join the rotation. All right, the lineup. We gave you the lineup today. Stott, Turner, Harper, Schwarber, Castellanos, Kepler, Realmuto, Bohm, Rojas. It looks like this is going to be kind of a set lineup for at least the short term right now until something kind of crazy happens. But it looks like that's kind of where we are. And I want to get your guys' thoughts on that. So if you're watching on the YouTube show, Let us know in the comment section. If you are on the X platform, you can comment there, and we will get those comments and kind of talk about them throughout the show. Let's see what kind of stuff we got going on right now, because I want to show you guys the lineup on the screen here for the people in on the X platform and on YouTube, which is, let's see here. Can I get that up on the screen? I know how to do this. I'm at my house, so I have a little bit of a different computer situation than I normally do on the radio. But here we go. There is the lineup for the people watching at home. Okay, there we go. So there you go. There's the lineup today. And it is Stott, Turner, Harper, Schwarber, Castellanos, Kepler, Realmuto, Bohm, Rojas. So Rojas, again, had a nice game last night. I contend that Rojas is the better option than Marsh. I just play Rojas pretty much consistently now. I don't know what I would do with Marsh at this point. I think he's a lost cause. I don't really have a lot of optimism for Marsh moving forward here. At this point, you got to start to scour what to do in center field. Do you find a right-handed platoon player? The Phillies have tried to go down that route before with Austin Hayes. That really didn't work out. Although Austin Hayes has gotten off to a really good start with the Reds. 2 home runs in 3 games. He's hitting like 350, and the Phillies could probably use a guy like that right now. But I'm not a big Austin Hayes guy. But I said, could you trade Austin Hayes for Max Kepler, and just because the Phillies could use Austin Hayes more than they could use a Max Kepler at this stage of the game. Just, my opinion there. I feel like Hayes, why I was not a fan of the trade, I feel like this team could use Austin Hayes more than they can use Max Kepler. Like if you were hitting Austin Hayes in like the 6 or 7 hole right now, at least he's right-handed, and that would take away some of the problems they have against left-handed pitching. Just a thought. So the trade possibilities, last night, buddies texted me, well, what do you think about this guy, this guy, this guy? And the guys that I keep getting, they're all left-handed. Justin Crawford, he had a big night last night. Justin Crawford last night. Let's talk about him. I have no problem bringing Justin Crawford up. The one issue I threw out there on the radio is he's left-handed. So you would have a left-handed bat basically coming into the lineup. And that is a problem that the Phillies have consistently had here, is that they have too many left-handed bats in their lineup, right? They have too many left-handed bats in the lineup. It has been a constant issue for them. And if you brought up Crawford, you would again have another left-handed bat. But here's what Crawford did at Lehigh Valley the other night. 4 for 5 on Thursday, up to 290 with a triple in the game. After he scuffled a little bit, he has struggled a little bit against left-handed pitching. Are you willing and ready to just throw Justin Crawford right into the lineup and say, go out there? A lot of people, most people don't care about, hey, he's young. They just hear he's the number 1 prospect and he's better than what we have. I just warn you on this, and I am not saying I wouldn't call Crawford up. I have no problem if they call Crawford up. What I'm saying is the Phillies have had the number 1 prospect in baseball, and Justin Crawford is not the number 1 prospect in baseball. But they had J.P. Crawford, and he wasn't ready to go. They had Dom Brown, and he wasn't ready to go. Oddly, Dom Brown was better when he was younger than he was as he got older. He made 1 random All-Star game. But just because they are highly touted prospects doesn't necessarily mean they are ready to go. So the Crawford thing, the only hesitation I would have with Crawford is that he hits left-handed. That's all. So if you guys are cool with the left-handed thing, then let me know in the comment section on YouTube and on the X platform. I see more people kind of crawling in here. If you could hit the retweet button and get that link out there to more people. And we'll continue to do this as much as we can here and there when we have some free time. Now that it's nicer out and I can sit on the porch, we'll do some more on the porches, possibly even again tomorrow before the Phillies. Remember the game at 1:00 today. I'm heading up to Philly in about an hour or so. So I got to get out of here in a little bit, but possible trade situations. Okay. There is not a definitive name that stands out right now, right? The Austin Hayes level of player is what you're looking at. You're looking at that guy who is a right-handed platoon type of player. Now, Austin Hayes, you remember, he started an all-star game in center field when he was playing in Baltimore. If he was here right now, would he be the right-handed center field bat? Marsh could be the left-handed center field bat. Would that have solved all their issues? I don't know about that. But can they find that level of player again? What do you have to give up to get that level of player? Remember last year, they gave up Sir Anthony Dominguez to get Austin Hayes. And Sir Anthony Dominguez is a pretty serviceable bullpen arm. I know here he was up and down, and that's a bullpen arm, though. They're up and down. But he's got much better stuff and has pitched in much bigger moments than Carlos Hernandez and Jose Ruiz, who you're kind of turning to at points. So, I would take Sir Anthony Dominguez back to not make that Austin Hayes trade, or I would have kept Austin Hayes and given him another shot as opposed to going to Max Kepler. Let's go to, by the way, Phillies Tailgate watching. And I got to give a shout out to Phillies Tailgate because I think they do an awesome job. I actually talked about this on the radio the other day. Their Twitter follow is one of the top Phillies Twitter follows out there. So for the people that listen to the radio, Phillies Tailgate says, I've been pushing for Byron Buxton for years. I wish he could just stay healthy. Well, Phillies Tailgate, number one, you're a great follow on Twitter. I think maybe one of the best Phillies follows out there. I give you guys a shout out a lot. I have a listener who's been constantly hammering me with Byron Buxton's name in trade. And I said the same thing. He's constantly hurt. I mean, I feel like if you got Byron Buxton, this is like adding Paul George, an all-star level player who you're just like, but this guy's hurt all the time. So what am I giving up to get Byron Buxton, and can I count on him? And by the way, Buxton has been awful to start the season. So what am I think it's the ROI. What am I giving up to get that level of player? At 31 years old, he's hitting 200 right now. The other guy's Robert, who's been awful this year for the White Sox. And I've got his name sent to me a lot too. And I don't know if I'm willing to say, hey, if he just gets a change of scenery, this guy's going to just start ripping it up. Is that the case? Do we think that would happen, that Lewis Robert comes here and just all of a sudden he's not hitting 136, he's hitting 336? I got a hard time with that, with what I'd have to give up. So what am I giving up to get Buxton? I would take a shot on Buxton if it was, a flyer, but I feel like the Phillies would have to give up something of substance. Now he's 31 years old. He's banged up constantly, and the Twins have gotten off to a slow start. So Buxton is a name that I think you will probably hear as the Twins are kind of fading. Not fading. It's too early to say fading. That division is not very good. But that level of player is intriguing. Just, man, anybody else, I would imagine, you're concerned with the injury. And by the way, Buxton's got off to a slow start, so maybe that lowers the demands and his age. His age is 31 now, which maybe that lessens the level of prospect you give up to get him. I'm interested to see. And thanks, Phillies Tailgate. Again, you're a great follow on Twitter, man. You guys kill it with that, with your timeliness and your stuff. We feature you guys a lot on the radio show, so appreciate you jumping in and engaging as well. So Buxton's a name that's been thrown out at me. He would be an everyday player, right? If he could stay healthy. And then you have like that next level down, which is more like the Austin Hayes, but like a knockoff version of Austin Hayes, right? You're on that next level down from Austin Hayes that hits right-handed. The problem with this is I also feel like I need a now Weston Wilson. Okay, let's bring his name into the mix because Wilson will be up, I would imagine, this week or next week. Do we all think that Weston Wilson is a full-time platoon player? Like he is in the lineup every time if a left-handed pitcher pitches, no matter what, bar none. He's a 29-year-old journeyman who's been basically a 4A player. He has flashed at times. He started, if you remember, I believe it was game 4 of the playoffs last year against the Mets in left field. So the Phillies thought enough of him last year in the playoffs. That's how desperate they were for a right-handed bat, and they threw him out there. So are we sure? Do we think that Weston Wilson is an option as a platoon player with Max Kepler? Are we at the point with this team where we think this is like the 93 Phillies? We're going to have a platoon in left, and as opposed to having a platoon in right, you're going to go platoon in center. Is that the best way to go? And the lineup today, as we said, Bryson Stott hitting leadoff. Is he a leadoff hitter every day or only against right-handed pitching? And if it's not every day and it's only against right-handed pitching, is he out of the lineup against left-handed pitching? Is it the situation where, the Phillies in 93, that team had, 3 different platoons? You had Milt Thompson and Incaviglia in left. You had Wes Chamberlain and Jim Eisenreich in right. And then you had Mariano Duncan was playing second with Morandini. Sometimes you had guys coming in as defensive replacements at times there. I mean, it was wild. Like, so is Edmundo Sosa playing as the right-handed second baseman and Stott's not in the lineup, and then the other days he's hitting leadoff? I mean, give me another scenario where the leadoff hitter is a platoon player, right? Give me a scenario where that has happened. That's pretty wild. So these are some of the interesting questions as the Phillies get ready for the Marlins today. Appreciate everybody climbing in here and being a part of it. If you have some comments or whatever on the YouTube channel or the X platform, you can roll them in. I know this is like, we're just kind of throwing this out there. So we're going to kind of build this up. We do it every day on the radio from 2 to 6. And generally we'll try to get on the porch out here on the weekends now that it's a lot nicer. And we're going to be doing a lot more stuff. We have some stuff going on that will be pretty cool to make sure you follow and subscribe, because we're going to be doing some more stuff right here on this YouTube channel and some other news that we will be putting out there for you. I got some more news for everybody out there here that we'll be doing in the short term. I'll let you know when that happens. But today, Phil's Marlins, and I'm looking for a sweep of this series and get yourself ready for that Mets series. Get a Phillies-Mets rivalry going. Take a look at that series coming up. I'm not overlooking the Marlins here, and obviously the Phillies have struggled with the Marlins over the last couple of years. But if you can get through this Marlins series and win this series, you've tasted the Mets. By the way, it's Walker today, Luzardo tomorrow. So if you could win today, you feel pretty good about tomorrow. The Mets series, you're going to have Nola and McGill. Sanchez and Canning is going to be a great night. Canning was awesome the other night. And then Wheeler and Peterson. So I feel like the Phillies have a small pitching advantage against the Mets. That Cubs team has been really good as well. And you play the Cubs at the end of next week, which stinks because those games are at Wrigley. Anybody going out to Wrigley would be an awesome, because the Phillies rarely play at Wrigley Field during the weekend. I feel like that never happens. I feel like they always play at Wrigley Field during the week. So to get a weekend Phillies Wrigley Field thing, definitely a bucket list type of situation. Definitely something that I wish. That's a busy week because of the draft for the Eagles. There's also the Coaches versus Cancer baseball tournament down the shore here that I'll be helping out with probably. So that's a tough weekend to get out to Chicago, but it's something that I was like, man, I saw the Phillies are playing out in Chicago on the weekend. You don't see that all. But you have this Marlins series followed by the Mets and Cubs. So it's a big kind of little stretch of games coming up here for the Phillies. And, we know it's early. But we were talking about this the other day. One of the interesting things about trying to win a World Series is, and this is why doing it as a wild card is so hard, right? Yeah, the wild card team the Phillies have won as a wild card. They got to the World Series as a wild card. But I always explain it like this. You got to win the wild card round, right? Then you have to win the division round. Then you have to win the championship round. Then you have to win the World Series round, which means you have to, and this is where the Phillies' problems have been. You're hot in the wild card round. You're hot in the division round. You're hot in the championship round. But then you're in the World Series, and you can't stay hot for that long. In baseball, it goes like this, all over the place. So when you're scorching hot against the Braves, hello, Nick Castellanos, for 4 games, well, the next 7 games, you are in the tank, I should say. So that's what makes it really hard when you have to play that extra round. Does that mean that's an extra set of games that you have to be good? So trying to win that division is, I think, optimal, Gabe Kapler. And trying to win that division so that you don't have to play that extra round, so that you don't have to you don't have to be your best in 4 straight series. Because to win, you have to be your best in 4 straight series. That's why these early games against the Mets, and then you're playing the Cubs. Look, the Phillies have beaten the Dodgers 2 out of 3. They split with a good Giants team. This team is 12-8, and a lot of the times we act like they are 8-12 or 7-13. You know what I mean? I get it. It's the nature of wanting to be the best, but isn't what the Phillies and Philadelphia sports teams, isn't what they do best as play as the underdog? They give us these wild rides in seasons that we least expect. 2022, manager gets fired. Somehow you rebound. You make it to the World Series. It's one of the best seasons we had, most fun in, going all the way back to 07, 08. And the weird part about that was that team was disappointing. Didn't have expectations after the firing of Joe Girardi, and then took us to the World Series. They were only fun for about a month. That 2022 season stunk, but for that month, they took us on a wild ride, and it was a lot of fun. Fast forward to 2023, where they are the team that's expected, and they don't meet expectations. And 2024, same situation, where you lose to the Mets after getting off to an unbelievable start to the first half of the season for a team that had been getting out of the gate slow in previous years. They get off to a hot start. Then they kind of stumbled to the finish line. Where will this team be by the All-Star break? We'll see. We shall see. I think this lineup, if it kind of settles in right here, are they going to go Rojas as a right-handed player and just go with him every day, and Marsh as a left-handed guy against right-handed pitching? They're just going to go straight platoon out there. We'll see how that materializes. Are they going to go with Kepler every day in left field? We'll see how that materializes. Will we see Stott leading off on days against righties and then not in the lineup against lefties, or will he move down the lineup? That is interesting because you do have Sosa, who, I got to be honest, I'm not the biggest Sosa. I have no problem with Sosa being on the team and having his super utility role. I think he flourishes in that role. I don't need to see Sosa starting in the lineup every day. I don't mind if he's a platoon player at second base and or left field. I think he's fine for that role. But I get people, on the radio that want him to start every day. I can't get on board with that. Sorry. Marchand, we had a little bit of a debate about him yesterday. I think Marchand's fine. He's played 5 games. We can't judge him on 5 games. If we can judge him on 5 games, we shouldn't have judged him on the 17 games that he played last year when he did hit. and that got people wanting him to take the backup job over Garrett Stubbs because he hit in 17 games last year. Well, if you thought he was good enough in 17 games, let's not judge him in 5 games, okay? Let's at least give him 17 games to see if he can handle. So far, he's been disappointing. There's no question about that. But he's also a 26 years old catcher, and he's the only catcher you have in the system, really. So if you release him, he has no minor league options. You would risk losing him, and then you really don't have another viable catcher in their 20s in the system right now. So there's another story. The Painter stuff that we talked about in the beginning. Ranger Suárez, he should be ready soon. And I don't want to say lineup concerns as much as is this lineup stable? The one they're throwing out there today again, which is the same for 3 days in a row now, I think. The only thing that's changed is the positions. Castellanos is DHing today. Schwarber's in left. Here's a thought I had too. The Phillies made it to the World Series in 2022 with Kyle Schwarber playing a lot of left field. Could they not handle Schwarber playing left field? And you would say, well, what would that do? It gets you just more creative, possibly to add another bat. If you wanted to add a bat that plays a duplicitous position. That's all. And then it gives you the chance to rotate DHs. If you brought in a first baseman, it can let Harper DH more. Only because Kepler, to me, is just not an everyday player. That's all. So on days when a left-handed pitcher plays, can Schwarber go play left field? And then you have another guy that can replace Kepler as as a bat in the lineup. That's all. If you can't find a right-handed bat to platoon with Kepler, just put Schwarber in left field on those days. Just a thought. Would anybody trade Justin Crawford, another left-handed bat? Would anybody consider that trade? Just make calls. Hey, I have Justin Crawford. What is the most that you will give me? See what's out there. He's another left-handed bat. I'm not saying I want to trade Justin Crawford. I'm just trying to get creative. I got a left-handed bat. My team is left-handed heavy, not a power bat. He is a speedster, probably a top-of-the-order type of hitter, not right away. But would you make those calls? Hey, I have Justin Crawford available. Anybody have any interest in making me an offer? Just see what's out there. Can you get a right-handed hitter that can play right now? Something to think about. All right. So if you would be so kind while you're watching, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's at the bottom of the screen, youtube.com @Mike Gill Show. It's very interesting as I'm doing this more and more. We do the radio show on X and YouTube pretty much every day, unless we have Wi-Fi issues, which generally doesn't occur. But more people seem to be watching on the X platform than on YouTube. Now, I find that YouTube is a much better experience. You can be a part of the chat. You can put it on your big screen TV, wherever you are. So if you want to get in the habit of watching on YouTube, you'll also get an alert when I go live. And for some of the other stuff that we're going to be doing on the YouTube channel. So hit the like button, subscribe. We are live on the porch. I'm Mike Gill. You can check me out on the radio Monday through Friday from 2 to 6 on 97.3 ESPN. That is the ESPN affiliate that serves South Jersey, Atlantic City. We're the home of the Eagles. We carry the Sixers and the Flyers, whose seasons, thankfully, are now over. We will talk more about them as this offseason is here. Thursday, you can find me at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City. I will be there for the draft. We're doing our radio show live. The Lombardi Trophy replica version of the trophy will be with me. So all people that show up will be able to get their picture taken free of charge. We'll also be giving away a pair of tickets to the Eagles, an Eagles game at Lincoln Financial Field. Coop, what's up? Good morning to you. Is it still morning? Yeah, it's just a little bit after 11. Appreciate you getting in. Coop, copper. What's that say? Copper. My bad. I don't have my glasses on today. You see me on the radio sometimes. I wear my glasses on the radio. I can't really see without the glasses on, but appreciate it, man. What was I saying? But we've gone a lot longer than I anticipated, but the viewers just keep going up. So as people are getting in, trying to see if I can answer some more questions out there for people. So we'll kind of hang for a couple minutes, see if any more questions come in. If you're on YouTube, you can hit us a question in the comments. If you're on the X platform, see, I'm trying to figure out on the X platform here, and I will check out the notifications. If I don't know that the notifications come to the comments section on the stream platform that we use, so I'd have to check that out. But we've been getting a lot of great engagement on the radio, on the text board recently, and the X platform. Getting your feedback is always helpful, even from the people who are disenchanted by this team right now, which 12-8 is 20 games into the season. And I don't know how. I get it. People want to win the World Series, and to do that, you're looking at this team big picture, which I think is definitely fair. I do the same thing. People are like, "Oh, you're yelling and screaming about this team." Not necessarily. I'm just looking at the big picture and wondering if this team is good enough. I think they have a couple lineup issues. I think their pitching's outstanding. I think their bullpen's a little short. And as we all do in sports, we're all trying to find ways creatively or ones that are right in front of your face to improve the team. Yeah, Sanchez looked great, 12 Ks. Sanchez, I'm going to tell you why I love Sanchez. He is a change-up pitcher. I coach. I teach the change-up. Every kid that I have, I teach them that same change-up, that circle change that just dies away. So I love watching him throw that thing. It is a thing of beauty, man. Christopher Sanchez has turned into one of my favorite pitchers to watch pitch. It is delightful to see him pitch with that thing. That changeup it's delightful. It's absolutely amazing. So, all right. What else we got? Phillies today, 105. The lineup is out. We talked about that. We're going to do some Sixers draft offseason, probably in a little bit. The NBA playoffs starting today. I got to be honest. The NBA has me down right now. The Sixers season was so dreadful. I mean, so dreadful. But I might watch a little bit. We'll see. But I've been, like last time I was watching the Giants and geez, I forgot already who the Giants played last night. I was watching the game. I don't even remember who they were playing. The Angels. Oh, that's right. Played the Angels last night. That Giants team who was just in Philadelphia got shut out last night by the Angels. I was watching that game on Amazon Prime last night. So, yeah, I've been kind of heavy baseball in this young season. All right, that's going to do it. I got to get myself ready. I'm going to Philly. Not going to the Phillies game. I'm just heading up to Philly. I got some things to do up there. I'll give you more stuff on what's going on the YouTube channel. Appreciate you all. And we'll talk to you on the radio on Monday. Maybe back on the porch tomorrow to get you ready for the Phillies Sunday afternoon. See you, everybody.